Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Karms. Today we have Andreea Tamas, conscious relationship expert for women. Welcome.
Thank you. So excited to be here with you.
Me too. I met you in Visa? Not that long ago. I haven't had a chance to really get to know you. So this is the chance whilst I get to know you and everyone else does too. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Your tagline, from fake love to deep love. Tell me the story behind that.
Yes, it really has to do first and foremost with my experience in relationships. I've been in 2 7-year relationships, and I realized that, oh my gosh, it takes a lot of awareness and intentionality to really create deep connection and to have the intimacy, that especially as women, but I think men too really desire when you are in a close relationship with somebody. So I've seen so many people also just struggling with these surface level connections, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. It's really time to dig deeper, and it came through for me where I have this methodology where it's truly going about first connecting with yourself, then connecting with others, and connecting with divine, with the source, however you want to call it.
Yeah, you talk about like a lot of us is on the surface level. Do you think that problem is kind of like both ways, both women and men, or is that what in your experience do you find it's both ways or just on one party more?
I would say it's both ways. There is no generalization of, oh, men or women are more. It goes both ways. And I truly believe it comes from the fact that we haven't truly learned how it is to connect, how it is to go deep with your loved ones. We know a lot of times we have this longing of like something it's missing, something it's not there, and we don't really know what it is. And what actually it's missing is truly that deep intimacy, like for you to be seen in your most like raw, in your most like vulnerable, space and moments, and be loved for who you are no matter how you show up.
That's what everyone wants, right? Like the unconditional love. That's really what it's about. But it's hard because a lot of us will probably put on a facade or try to please the other party. And then we've probably created a character that's not even so much what we want anymore. And after a while, it's like, it's just become the norm. Like we actually don't know ourselves well. How did you navigate in your journey to really get to know yourself more?
Yeah, so my journey started back in 2015 when I had a near-death experience. And after that, I was taken like really deep and on like, oh my
Wait,
God.
what happened though?
What happened with my near-death experience? Yeah, I was in the States 1 year after I moved there from Romania, because I'm originally from Romania.
Okay.
So I just moved there. I was 25 years old, and I went in Las Vegas with my life partner at the moment to a music festival. And we took a substance that a lot of people do on those music festivals, I'm not gonna name it.
Yep.
And I had no freaking idea that actually I have an allergy. And I ended up having a seizure and being in the hospital in a coma for 2 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
That is very scary.
It was very, very scary, because after that I went like so low. Like I had depression, I had terrible headaches, I was like in the lowest emotions, like shame, guilt. I'm like, I cannot believe I did this. And I felt a lot of shame even to talk with other people and my friends and family about it, because I was
they'll
like,
judge
oh,
you, right? Like, because
exactly.
retrospectively, it's like, well, that's really stupid.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, but that propelled me to eventually realize that I was actually given a second chance to life. And that means there is a purpose for me. So I started searching what is that purpose. And that's how I got on my healing journey. And at the beginning, I realized that, whoa, I have no idea who I am, what I want, what I need. And I was on this constant search of like, when I'm gonna make more money, when I'm gonna have the perfect relationship, when I'm gonna move there, that's when I will be happy. So I will constantly postpone my happiness with some external factors. How we are taught, no, like the more money you have, you're gonna be happy. The perfect relationship, you're gonna be happy. So we are fed this lie. And I believed in it, like we all do until a certain point.
I agree with you. I felt that too. That money will kind of like make you happy, and then you got to a certain, yeah. The thing is, a lot of people may not get to that point. So then there's like the perpetuating thing. But for the people that got there, it's like, oh, that didn't get me what I wanted. And it's even worse. I'm still so curious about that journey you went through, though. Is it okay if I go back, rewind back a little
Yeah,
bit? When you
of
woke up
course.
in the hospital, what happened? Like, because did you have any sense you were like kind of gone for like
Mm,
2 days? Like what did you feel during that
yeah.
2 day when you woke up? What actually happened in your own
Yeah,
mind?
so I didn't remember anything. So I'm not one of those people that, oh, I had a near-death experience and I
Right.
went in other realms and that's what happened.
So
You
it
know,
just felt like an instant, okay, one moment you woke up, the next moment
yeah.
it's like, and then someone just goes, you were like asleep for 2 days.
Yeah, and I woke up like feeling so scared, not knowing what happened. And after I came back, I didn't feel the same anymore. It was
Mm.
just I felt like a different soul came through, honestly.
Were
Like
you a
not
party girl before that?
yes, yes, a very party girl. Yes. And not so much after. Not so
Well,
much
no.
after. Like I
After the
shifted
consequences.
totally. Yes, I shifted
Crazy.
totally after that. So I don't remember much what happened when I was in it, but I do know that I've changed, my life changed drastically after. And one thing that I realized was also that I lost a lot of my memory. So after I came back, I couldn't remember a lot of things from my past, from my childhood. And that's where I'm saying that I believe sometimes that a different soul came through because I have this loss of memories where at the beginning I was feeling so mad and upset about it, but then I was like, there is a reason, and I'm just gonna trust that there is a reason why I don't remember, and it's okay. I don't need to, and I get to recreate who I want to be right now.
Wow, that is wild. I also read you wrote something about a lot of us girls get into a relationship, and we want the other party to know what we want when we don't really even know what we want ourselves, but we
Yes.
think they should just surprise us because they know us so well. If someone is resonating to that, um, what should they do?
Mm. I would say go and take some alone time. Take some time on your own, like do some activities on your own, because so many times we are in relationships and we become dependent, and we become like one in two. Like we don't even know who we are anymore. And I would say go and spend some time on your own and really observe and like get curious, like what do I like to do, what do I want to do, what do I enjoy, what brings me pleasure, what makes me feel alive, and go and explore. And at the beginning you might be like, I don't feel excited to do anything, especially if you are new at this. You're going to be like, I really don't know. Then just go for a walk and wonder. And I've learned this like in an intuition course. Go and just say, I wonder what am I going to experience, I wonder what new things am I going to explore, and just go on this wonder journey to see what sets you on fire when you are on your own, not with your friends, not with your partner, with anyone else, but on your own.
Okay, so that's the getting to know thyself, basically.
Yes.
So then we would know more of what we want. Then how do they then communicate to their partner what they want?
Yes, so that's the next step, you know, because I've noticed even with myself in relationships many times like, oh, I will do whatever or whatever you want. You choose, you pick, you create the plan, whatever, whatever. No, like it's important to bring in your preferences as well. Like it's 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 a play, no, in the relationship. So once you identify, oh, I actually noticed that I love maybe just walking, not even like speaking with anyone or anything. Let me explore how this would look like with my partner and tell him like, you know, I've noticed that on my own. How about we go and we experiment? I would love to connect with you in that way. I need a deeper connection. I desire a deeper connection with you. And I would love for us to explore how it would look like for us. Maybe let's go on a walk to the beach and maybe we don't talk on that walk. We're just gonna connect with our energies and through our looks. How about, would you like to do that?
Do you feel like people can just bring that kind of conversation in? Let's say we imagine someone that's been like 5 years in the relationship and they've
Mhm.
got a lot of the habits and the behavior, and they probably haven't been making those choices all this time because it's like, just let the partner be making them. Suddenly, if they change, that might be like a little bit awkward to just bring up. How do they start that conversation?
Yeah, so I would say depends where they are at in their relationship. And let's say the one person, maybe the woman, is the one that got into like the personal development, into changing, into bringing some new habits. So how do you bring it to your man that maybe he's like, I don't like these woo-woo things. I'm not about, the spiritual bullshit and whatever, because it happens a lot. Um, Communicate, and this actually I've learned from the Queen's Code by um, Amy Armstrong, I think it's her name. And it's saying, tell the man what that is going to provide for you. Because men, they care about providing. They're all about providing, providing, providing. So if you're just gonna tell him, I want you to go for a walk with me, he's gonna be like, that doesn't sound cool, doesn't sound important, whatever, I'm not gonna do it. But if you tell him, I want to go for a walk with you and that is going to provide me, for example, the safety that I
Mm.
desire in our relationship, the emotional stability. So really get very clear on the tangible, and this is going to help you as well as a woman when you communicate that, to be like, okay, what that actually is going to give me, like why do I even want to do that, you know? So you get clear for yourself, and then you are able to communicate to him what that provides for you. And that means you learn how to speak his language.
Yeah, I love the angle of that. It does make sense. It's like you're really actually speaking from your heart of like what that means to you rather than just saying kind of half the sentence and expecting them to, don't you just get it? Like,
Yeah,
hey.
why don't you just do it?
Is that the sort of method you would recommend in terms of how to get, I think I read something you had like how to get the men to stay in the relationship. Is that around that or something else?
Yeah, so it's how to get the relationship you want with the man you have. Yes.
That, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And I highly recommend, this is one of the many, many techniques to use. Like, really learn to speak his language, because I do believe that communication, it's at the core of everything. Like, when you learn how to communicate in a conscious way, in a way where you take responsibility,
This
for.
is beyond like the five love language, right? We're not talking
Yes,
about
yes,
that. Yeah.
it's beyond that. It goes way, way beyond that. It's really learning to take responsibility first and foremost for your own happiness, and also not to put on your man that he needs to fulfill your needs in all areas, because that's impossible. It's like you are asking them to be a superhuman. So really get clear on what are the needs that my man is going going to full. And maybe it's not deep conversation and deep talks, and you're gonna get that need met by one of your girlfriends.
Mm.
But what are the needs that you want and desire to get met by your man? And then learn how to communicate that in a conscious way.
Okay. And what about for the people, for the women that are single and haven't found their men yet? What advice would you have for them?
Yes, so I would say don't settle. That's the first thing. Do not settle. Like truly know your worth. Know your worth and get clear on what is it that you bring on the table in a relationship. Like write it down and read it and see how freaking amazing you are and how much you bring on the table in a relationship. So you don't feel like, oh, I need a man in order to be or feel in a certain way, but know that you are already freaking amazing, know your worth and see your qualities and everything you bring on the table, and have this feeling and idea that whoever is going to be with me is going to be so freaking lucky.
This is just for the girls to internally know for themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And I know you do a lot of, you obviously do a lot of personal development yourself. And one of the things, I think you were doing some sort of breathing thing
Yes,
where you were, is it you had some sort of limiting belief about your business and showing up with the right energy? How did you go with that?
oh my gosh. It's I just finished almost a 1 month training on breath work. It's called Rebirth Breath Work, and it's one of the most profound tools I've done. And throughout that month, I've had like so many revelations around myself, my relationships, my business, my limiting beliefs around money. It was just insane, and so much healing has happened. And how I was not it was shown to me how I was not showing up as my like most authentic self. And it came first how it was in my relationship, where, for example, my partner visited me when I was in the training, and I didn't really want him there. And I was like, I don't have the capacity and the space for him right now. Like this is the time to like just go full on with my healing, with myself, with my process. And then it came to me in the breath work how hard it was like to communicate that with him. And why? Because I valued more to be loved than to be like truthful, unconsciously, of course. It was not
Yes,
a
of course.
conscious thing, and it was so mind-blowing. Then I went and I had the open, and honest conversation with him, and I told him I don't have the capacity for you right now, and I would appreciate for you to go and just allow me to be in my space. And it was super hard to do it, and he understood. It was like a little bit hard at the beginning. He got triggered and so on,
Yeah.
but then he understood, and he was like, okay, you are really showing me right now how it looks like to love yourself, how it looks like to choose yourself, and that really inspires me.
Wow. So did he have to, kind of make a long journey to get to you where you were and then kind of got rejected and don't know what to do with himself? Or was that like he could sort of head home pretty easily?
Yeah, it didn't take long because he's also on this journey,
Okay. Yeah.
on personal development. So he understands. But even if we are on this journey, we still get triggered, we
Yeah.
still are humans. It's not like, oh, I know and I'm so enlightened, from the beginning and it's all good. No, we still get triggered, but then we get to see beyond that, and we get to understand um the needs and how can we be a better partner for the other person.
I love
So
that.
that's on the relationship part. And on the business part, it was a lot how I feel like I haven't fully have shown like all parts of myself, like all like the clingy stuff, the like all of the things. And I'm like, it's really time like to get out and like be so freaking bold and outrageous with all parts of myself, like non-apologetically. And I feel like this is what's coming right now in this new chapter, in this new season, with this move that I made right now coming to Goa, and a lot of shifts and movements are coming out, and I'm so freaking excited about it.
That's awesome. Like to be able to be just showing up authentically. It's like, no, we're all imperfect. We're working on things. Just because we're coaches or guiding other people, it's like we've just spent a lot more time in those aspects. It doesn't mean we've like fully reached like the absolute highest level. It's just we've done more work on it to guide people.
Yep.
That's cool. So when you were looking into your purpose path, people will go in different time on their journey, right? Of what triggered it. Hopefully people don't have to wait for like some dramatic death experience to really get them to start moving that direction. Because it's important, right? That we,
Yes.
whether you're religious or not, I think most people would agree that like we have a soul. And
Mhm.
so most people do look for their purpose. In particular, especially in this podcast, I always have guests that have found their purpose, or at least on that path to getting more clear. What did your purpose journey look like? If someone haven't found their purpose, they're like, I have no idea. Where should they
Mhm.
begin?
Yeah. So after that near death experience, I told you that I'm like, oh, I was given a second chance to life. That means I have a purpose here. So what is that purpose? And I became obsessed about it. I'm like, what is my purpose? How do I find it? So that was my obsession. How do I find my purpose? And I was not in the personal development world. I didn't know about this world. I didn't know anything. Like I was like brand new to this world. And I started with a book, like literally. I started with a book, and from there I was guided to the next step, next step, next step.
What book
And
was
I
that? I
remember,
run a book club, so people will probably be
oh,
interested.
nice. So the first book I read was actually Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert
Oh, right.
Kiyosaki.
Yeah, this one. This one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay.
Yes. So I started with that book. Then I followed the author. Then the author endorsed someone else. I followed that guy. I bought his webinar. So what I would say to people that are searching for their purpose, first and foremost, know that your purpose is not just one big thing that you're going to find and do for the rest of your life. And what I invite the audience is truly to look for what do I feel is my purpose right now in this moment, especially when you are at the beginning and you don't have the clarity of it. Took me years until I've even discovered coaching. So look for what is my purpose in this moment, and know that it's going to change and unfold as you are changing, as you are shifting. And what is important is um, do not wait and just read like 100 million books until you take action, and know that clarity comes with action. And this was one of the best things I've heard at the beginning of my journey. One of my mentors said, clarity comes with action. So the more action you take based on what you are reading, what you are learning, exploring, being on this exploration journey, the more clarity you are going to get. And maybe your purpose is going to be in seasons, like right now my purpose is to be of service in my community. Maybe that's your purpose right now. And like, can you find the joy, the pleasure in that, instead of like, oh, I'm doing this right now but I feel so bad because I don't know what my big huge purpose is in life. And I think this is what stops a lot of people. And also they are so dissatisfied with where they are at, and they are not able to find the happiness and the pleasure in the journey.
Yes. I do see that a lot. It's like they don't know the grand vision, so then they're afraid to take a path that might be wrong. But it's like the quicker you walk it, the quicker you'll discover, okay, this is not the path. You can take a different path. However, to learn from experiences, when did you take the leap to discover coaching? What did you do prior? And then when did you go, okay, I think I can do this coaching thing? Like, because a lot of people in my space also have that aspiration. And also wonder, how do you just take that leap when you're doing something
Oh,
nothing like that?
yeah. So after I moved to the States, I worked in restaurants, in hotels, in management companies. So I worked 2 to even 3 jobs at a time. So I worked my ass off. And after I went on my journey of what is my purpose, what am I here? At that moment, I was working in two restaurants, and outside of the restaurants, like when had a little bit of time, I would stay and learn and read and like dig and search. So eventually, um, what I did after that book, I bought a course on like affiliate marketing, who was promising you that, oh, with email, no, it was email marketing. With email marketing, you're gonna create your business, because also my vision was like, I want to travel the world. I always had this vision of traveling the world and work from anywhere. So I took the leap first of investing in myself. I remember the first ever investment I made was in that course, the email marketing, and I paid $1,000 for the first ever course, and that was back in 2000. I don't know, 16, 17, something like that. So at that time, I remember I was like almost shaking. I'm like, I cannot
A
believe
lot
I'm
of money at
investing
that
this
time.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a big stretch also when you are not used to it. So first, it's like truly believe in yourself to invest in yourself. Like ever since, I've invested over $100,000 like in my growth. I stopped counting how much I invested, but truly like believe to invest in yourself, because we are not meant to go on this journey alone. You can go alone, you can do it alone, but it can be very lonely and it's going to take much longer. So what I've learned from the beginning of my journey is like, I pay because I value my time and I want to do it faster. That's how I look at when we invest in things. I look at it as a shortcut to my journey. That's how I take it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
believe in yourself. So invest in yourself. That's a way of self-love. And then how do you take the leap?
Yeah.
How do you
How do
take
you
the
take the
leap?
leap?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I discovered coaching after I already have been through like several courses, several investments. Then I found coaching and I was like mind blown. I was like, what the heck is this? I didn't even know it exists. And I saw how it changed my life. And I was like, whoa, I want to bring this into the world. And at that time, I was working 2 jobs when I discovered coaching. So at the beginning, I cut one of my jobs, and then I went deeper into coaching, into building my business while investing a lot and building my business. And I remember even before cutting one of the jobs, I was in the office and I had an office job and a restaurant job. And I asked myself, okay, which one do am I going to cut based on what is my vision and what I want? And I was like, I make more money in the restaurant in a shorter amount of hours. So I'm gonna cut the office job, even though it's a very good job. I have all of the benefits and everything. I'm gonna cut the office job. And I was in the bathroom about to go and tell my manager that I'm putting my notice, I'm quitting, and I was there crying and shaking, and I was like, this is so terrifying, I cannot do it. And I remember calling my partner at the time. I was like, I'm not gonna have the benefits anymore, because in the States, like the benefits, having insurance and all of these things, it's huge. I was like, I'm not gonna have the benefits, and I was like literally crying before I took this sleep, and I was so afraid to do it. And when I went into the office to tell my manager, she was like, Andrea, I want to actually offer you a promotion before I said anything.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Talk about
yes,
making it harder.
yes. It's like, I want to offer you a promotion, and it's about like course and community. And like, because she knew I'm in this world now. And I was like, oh my God, universe, are you testing me right now? What the heck is this?
Did she
So
sense you were about to put something in, or what?
probably, I have no
Maybe.
idea. I
Maybe.
really look at it that it was like a test from the
Yeah.
universe. Like, how bad do you want this? Are you
Yeah.
sure? So I decided, and I put my notice in that moment. I'm like, I cannot say yes because I'm about to quit, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really, I would say at the beginning, I highly recommend, don't just quit your job and go full in into your coaching. Like, because it's gonna be very hard for your nervous system to don't have like a stable income at the beginning. So have a job, have a source of income. Maybe it's not a job, maybe it's in other ways, investments or whatever it is, but have a source of income while you start building your coaching or your business, whatever it is. And then eventually you can go full in into this. Like, that's what I recommend. That's not what I 100% did, because after just a few months after that, I was like, I have to go full in into my business, and I quit both of my jobs. So, but it was very hard. It was very hard for my nervous system and everything. And that's why I recommend people don't do what I did. Learn from my mistakes, but we are all on our journey, you know?
Yeah. The that test of faith is an interesting one because it's really showing that it's not about the money. Like at that point, the money is not the thing because you're really weighing on the time and probably mental capacity that if you were promoted, then the expectation to perform and other things would be more at the same time. So then do you
Mm-hmm.
really have the headspace for this thing you really want to do? That's that's an interesting choice. I wonder if how many people would have taken that. It
Mm,
really is a test. How much do you want it? This other
yeah.
path.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's exactly how I felt, because rationally it made no sense. It made,
Yes.
and this is what is going to happen when you are on your purpose and when you are guided. You're going to be asked to make choices that makes no sense. They make no sense. Like, logically, you are like, I'm out of my mind. But then your heart, your soul knows that no, you have to do this. Like, it's like a pull. You have to do this. And if you don't, and if you continue taking the action as you have taken until that point, for example, for me staying in that office job, I felt like my soul was dying. I felt like,
Mm.
yeah, I'm getting all the benefits, I'm well paid, I'm in a nice job, but I feel that my capacity of what I can do and how I can contribute, it's used at 5 to 10%. And if I'm going to continue like staying here, I feel like my soul is it's dying. And I literally told my manager once, because I a lot of times there were periods when I just didn't have a lot of work. And I told her, like, if you don't, like, if I'm not gonna continue having work, I feel that you are wasting my time and I'm wasting your money.
Yes.
That's how it felt. And I was like, it doesn't feel good on either way, because integrity, it's
Yeah.
like a big part in my life, a big value. And I found myself not having work and being there at the office and listening to podcasts, that I was interested in, and to courses. And then I will feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot do this. This is like, ah.
Yeah. I felt similar feelings to you before. When I was in corporate, there was like a job that I didn't want to be in, and I felt like what the manager wanted me to do that specific job, and I'm like, and I told her, you can hire 2 junior staff for my salary, it will be better for the team. That
Mhm.
didn't go down well. But yeah, that's how I felt. It's like it's the integrity. It's like, are you doing the right thing? Do you feel like you're
Yeah.
supposed to be here? I also did the brave thing similar to you. So it's like I end up quitting completely and just
Woo.
went straight into coaching. And And it looks like you're crazy to the world because it's
Yeah.
like work this time because I was climbing corporate ladder, but then took like the huge fall, right? It's like everyone just thought I like lost it. But I agree with you. It's something about your soul knows. There is that pull. And I'm not sure how many people experience this or what it takes to feel that pull. If they haven't felt this, I don't know. Like, but how do they know which voice to listen to? Because I get asked a fair bit. It's like, how did you know
Mm.
when that trigger point it is? And when I hear you speak so passionately that there's that pull, it's like, yeah, I know that feeling. There's like it, you can't stop thinking about it, and you feel like you just have to do it, even though it's crazy. You won't be
Yeah.
able to answer for it, not even for yourself, definitely not for the people around you. But you feel like you just have to do it, even if it's just to give yourself an answer. Okay, well, maybe it's completely wrong, but I just need to try it to know. Because at the end of the day, I could always go back to find another similar job, even if I
Yes.
didn't get back to that one. Because I didn't want, you probably don't want to crawl back to the one that you left,
Mhm.
but there's always a way back for the skills that you acquire. So you never really lose anything.
Yeah.
Um, but for someone that doesn't feel that strong pull, how do you have any advice for that?
Mm. Yeah, so probably even I think Vision talks about Kenso and Shatori, that we make changes either that we are pushed or we are pulled. So you are either pushed because you are in so much pain and you cannot stand being in the same situation anymore. You're like, if I'm gonna continue my life the same one more day, I'm gonna freaking die. Or you are pulled, you are like, oh my God, I'm so inspired and I have this desire to like create something else, create a different life, create something new. And you have this burning desire, and you might not even know what you want to create, but there is this pull, there is this desire. So if you don't have this pull, then maybe you have this push that you are like, I cannot stand my job or the relationship I'm in anymore. Like you get to a breaking point where it's like, that's it, where you put like, the stick in the sand and it's like, it's time to freaking make a change. And that's when people actually create a change. Either it's by the push or the pull.
Yeah. Yeah. The push being you're trying to get away from the pain. Felt that
Exactly.
before. Then the pull is like it's so uncertain. I feel like the pull is way more uncertain because the pain is
Yeah.
very obvious what the pain is when we're trying to get away from. The pull
Mm-hmm.
is like much murkier. You don't quite know what it
Yes.
is, but you feel drawn to it. If people want to learn more about what you do, and they're resonating with this, what do you have for them? What's the journey look like with you?
Yeah, so right now I'm offering one-on-one, and I'm actually putting together an event for January where I'm gonna help them actually heal their relationship with money. So this
Oh,
is something I'm going deeper into, and it's gonna be through the breath work. The amazing tool I have learned, I'm gonna bring it out into the online world, and I'm gonna show people how to get to the root cause of what are their money blocks and the patterns. And I'm gonna take them through a free challenge, a free event in January 6, 7, and 8. So I will invite them to follow me on Instagram. The details are gonna come out there. And it's truly how to heal your relationship with money. That's what it's about. So you can actually create more abundance in all areas of your life.
how awesome is that? Learning something, applying it, teaching people right away. I love that. That is the way to go.
Yes, yes, especially when you see the huge benefits, on yourself and on others. Because I have to say that these past few years, through my coaching and on my journey, I was like, I feel like there is something like a missing piece that it's like I was desiring and I was searching for. And I feel now with this breath work, especially this specific breath work that takes you so deep and so fast that this has been the missing piece for my coaching, for my business, for my clients, and I know it's just going to freaking explode.
Yeah, sharing the good stuff. Amazing. Okay, so if you guys are resonating, slide into a DM. What's your Insta handle?
Yes,
I'm sure
my
I'll
Insta
link it in,
handle,
but do you want to just let them know?
sure, is at I am Andreea. It's Andreea with double E, Andreea Tamas.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Excel in life, live your purpose, be free.